Thanks, Becky. Everyone, welcome to the Park and Recreation Commission regular meeting of April 17th, 2025. The time is 6:02 p.m. And Becky, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Chair Sandoval,
Present.
Commissioner Cabrales,
Here.
Commissioner Emerson,
Here.
Commissioner Gutierrez is absent this evening, and then Commissioner Pasternak.
Here.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Item number 1 is approval of the regular meeting minutes of March 2025. Any questions from commissioners? To approve the motion? A second? You have a second.
I can second.
Thank you.
All
Thank-
right, Chair
Thank you.
Sandoval,
Yes.
Commissioner Cabrales,
Yes.
Commissioner Emerson.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Pasternak.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Thank you.
The public is welcome to address the commission at this time on matters that are not listed on the agenda that are within our jurisdiction. Comments may be no longer than 2 minutes and should be respectful to the community. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to share a comment there? I will close public comment at this time. Yeah. We'll move on now to agenda item number 2, special presentations. Oh, sorry, we don't have any special presentations this moment. So we'll move on to the regular agenda. Item number 3, the biannual parks project and maintenance status.
And Joanna, I'll just quickly introduce you. This is Joanna Block. What's your official title these days?
I'm the Assistant Public Works Director and City Engineer.
And we're happy to have you here tonight. You've been here for a few of these meetings and we've shared updates. I think this is a great way, in addition to some of the other ways we've reported, and we're reporting out specifically on like the Park and Rec master plan on an annual basis. We had been doing these reports, I think historically they've come a little more routinely. But we moved, I think, a year and a half ago to this biannual model of reporting. And so there's a lot of great stuff in this report. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to take a look at it, but just want to thank DPW for all the work that you have been doing. I think we have a lot of projects in process right now, a lot of work that has been completed. And, you know, it's a huge testament to the work that you and your team have put in to get all this work done and moving, knowing that there's capacity issues, right? And it's stretching everybody really thin over. So just want to celebrate you and the team over there first before you get into the report. So with that, though, I'll turn it over to you. So and I'm going to share our screen here in just a second. And I own these things and get them out of the way.
Thanks so much, Craig. That was a very wonderful welcome and introduction. I think it's definitely a partnership between all the different departments, so I really appreciate that. Of which, you know, I believe it's one of the really large ongoing projects that we've been collaborating on. I think since our last update, the contractor Bowman has done a lot of work in terms of rough grading, getting the basketball court, the all-weather turf sports field kind of like set up, and we've got all the drainage systems kind of in place. And over the next couple months, we're going to be installing the turf and finishing up some of the other improvements like the parking lot extension, the basketball court, landscaping, like path improvements, playground structures. And I think we're looking to complete the project like in the summer, probably mid-July. So it's very exciting.
I was just out there yesterday, and if you haven't had a chance to get out there recently, it's worth taking a look. I know, you know, it's always great to see the project when it's completed, but it's also really cool to see it when it's underway. And there have been a lot of recent improvements that have gone in, including like the front entrance sign just went in, and so now there's a great sign that says Pickle League Park. All the grading on the field in the back is also really impressive to see. The amount of earth movement that have to do with the basketball hoop standards just went up. So it's starting to look like a basketball court now, and things are really coming.
Another really exciting project that we just broke ground, I think, this week was Peacock Gap Playground. I think that one's really exciting. And we think that this will also be completed by midsummer this year. So we're looking to, return a lot of facilities for the community to use, and then especially right during summertime. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, I think we're also really working just to coordinate that, to get that done as quickly as we can. I think, obviously the project and its size of. We want to make sure it's done right, and so I've been in touch with got neighborhood associations, some neighborhood groups to make sure they understand. That we're gonna try and get it done as quickly as we can. There is a chance in some of our project coordination meetings, we talked about the possibility that the play area. Maybe we might do a soft opening before everything is completed. But we'll make sure we keep everybody posted on the time. I think realistically, probably sometime in July.
Wood Park playground equipment, I think we finally selected the type of equipment that we're gonna use, and there's a lead time of like 12 to 16 weeks, so that's what's really driving our start time for construction. But I think once we have that delivered, we think the installation will be about like 4 weeks or so, about a month. So, yeah, we're also hoping that this is gonna get completed probably early summer is what we're targeting for.
We had folks maybe get this done a little earlier. Let's be honest, I think this was on our target for Q1 of this year. We've run into a couple of, I would call them delays, but just it's taken a little longer for us to finalize the design and make sure that what we're designing is really going to best meet community needs. In particular, I think we've been talking a lot about the ramp access to the play area, and making sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that it's accessible in the right way to do what we can now. I think, the idea here was that we'd be doing something interim. We want to get play equipment there quickly. At the same time, we're doing the work of the scope. We have a responsibility to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make it accessible. So that's where we're at. I think, like you said, I think we're on track here. As soon as we get those final details taken care of, it should go pretty quickly.
So we're kind of like towards the end of our rainy season, and we're really kind of like bringing back some of our parks operations and maintenance back to like besides roads and like storm drain. So we did some maintenance over at Wood Park where one of the retaining walls had fallen over, and then just to make sure there was like safety, we kind of patched it up, and that's got there. And then, but we're still doing roadside improvements as well. So over by Point St. Pedro, we cleared up some of the sidewalks and the debris you've seen from like tree droppings and stuff, just to make sure we are maintaining public access for everyone. And then, bracing for the summer weather and spring weather, we're checking all of our irrigation systems, making sure that they'll function properly so that we can keep our landscaping and plants hydrated.
I mean, I want to kind of come back up with pickle weed. I mean, this is a huge scope of work.
That's my favorite project.
Why is that statement? It really is transforming Pickleweed Park in some really incredible ways. So I don't want to, I mean, we talked about it a lot over the last couple of years. It's happening. We're really close. I was maybe gonna mention this again, but I'm just gonna tag on now that one of the things we want to do is celebrate this work. So what we're trying to do is, as we get a little closer to the finish line here, we're trying to find dates that will work for a ribbon cutting ceremony and really creating more of a special event where we're inviting the community to celebrate this once it's open. Similar to what we mentioned with Peacock Gap Park, if the field is ready and the rest of the project isn't quite ready, and we're not quite ready for that ribbon cutting, we're gonna try to make sure that people have the opportunity to use these amenities as soon as we can. So the basketball court, the play equipment, as soon as they're open and certified and ready, we'll open them up. But with that said, we're not quite there yet. We haven't picked those dates for the ribbon cutting and when things will officially be finished. We're getting closer though. So we do think it will be this summer.
There's a lot of community excitement.
Yeah.
Coming in, checking it out.
Great to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, so big projects happening this summer. We're definitely in a construction phase, I would say right now. You know, not shown in this, we had the Terra Linda Parking Community Center enhancement plan that we're continuing to work on. I think we're in kind of a holding pattern there. We're hoping to bring a final plan back to council at some point this year. We're still wrapping up some more planning there, but some real physical improvements, capital improvements there, which we're really excited about. And I know I've heard from the commission, hey, let's see the actual projects take place. So it's great to see these under construction. Yeah, I think, I don't know, Joanne, anything else that you'd want to add from your perspective?
Be good.
Yeah. We, library renovation project also happening, not a park project, but libraries should be, the Carnegie branch should be reopening this summer. We're aiming for mid-July, potentially reopening. Likely plan a ribbon cutting grand reopening celebration there that will likely be in early August. And then the Pickleweed branch library will also go under construction later this summer and into the fall. So lots of ongoing improvements too. I think we could probably rattle off a bunch more, like the preschool we're in design, so that'll be a project next year. And so it's just, we're just going to keep building things, keep on hopefully improving and maintaining.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great to see the progress being made, and building is always great. I would invite now questions or comments from commissioners.
It's good to me.
That's
Yeah.
a sign of a good report.
Yeah.
Good teamwork.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I'll just say, it's great to see Point San Pedro cleaning up was highlighted. We deal a lot with that in Peacock Gap neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, I'll just say thanks. I don't know if it's you behind the screen, but thank you for the responsiveness. I do think ClickFix is extremely responsive for the community, and I've seen
That's great to
good
hear.
results.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a platform we've been really pushing out, and I think everyone at DPW, we all try based on our different sections. I think for the maintenance that you saw was probably mostly our Superintendent Aaron
Okay.
and his team, but yeah, they're pretty good, and Brian Maltese as well.
Thank you. At this point, I would open public comment. Public comment?
Well, I live in Canada. And I saw the different park. I saw one price 90,000 for a small repair, I think so. We show, and I think how much going to be for Canal. Renew all the park, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But we are so happy because we live in Canales. We was telling to the city, we need a beautiful park, and right now it's our time. We need to very care of park. I'm so happy, thank you so much for care to us. Thank you, really. I am far from Steve.
Picnic advisory.
Yeah.
Thank you. And everything going to by hand because the library, new programs. My son may be going to fix the garden because going to be Eagle, Boy Scout Eagle. And he has to take one project. And maybe things going to change. I'm happy, thank you for the opportunity.
Close public comment at this time and request a motion and a second to receive the report.
I motion to receive the report.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Sandoval,
Yes.
Commissioner Cabrales.
Yes.
Commissioner Emerson.
Yes.
And Commissioner Pasternak.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item next is the annual Pickleweed Advisory Committee report.
Steve requires no introduction. Right? So, But I'll introduce you anyway, Steve, because you're here. It's great to have you. Steve, the senior recreation supervisor for the outdoor movement center in Pickle Park. How long have you been with the city now?
July will be 16 years.
16 years with the city, and definitely knows far more than I do about the city, and I'm just so thankful to be able to get these weeks. So happy to have you here and share this report.
Great. Well, thank you for having me. Annually, the Park and Rec Commission is to receive a report on the Pickweed Advisory Committee. This also serves as a good time for some of the committee members to come and you guys kind of meet each other. So I'm very happy that Darlene can come in tonight. Did you want to say anything about being on the committee or?
Well, I enjoy to be in the community. I enjoy, I don't speak English very well, but it's more easy to understand when I hear to speak. But he is very nice person. He speaks slow and we have a good time when we have a meeting. And I'm so happy for many things, new things coming. I'm feeling so happy. Thank you. And we are feeling sad because he going to leave them.
I don't think they know.
No, we don't know that.
I wasn't sure if you
I thought we
sharing that
did, yeah.
information or not.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, Darlene is very involved in the community. She's on the police advisory board. She was a member of Voicesville Canal. Her son, as she said, is in Scouts. She's very involved with the community and such an asset to the committee with all her different connections in there. So
No,
I very much
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity to be involved.
All right, so tonight, we're gonna give a little background on the Pickleweed Advisory Committee. We'll kind of give an overview on the members. Talk about the meeting schedule and some of their agenda items in 2024. We'll do an overview on the co-sponsorship program, and then we'll kind of get into the specific programs that were co-sponsored. And then we'll have a quick look ahead and then any questions that you might have. There's a delay. The Pickleweed Advisory Committee is an essential part of the operation of the Albert J. Boyle Community Center. They provide valuable input representing and advocating for canal area residents' needs and wishes. They make recommendations on policies and procedures governing the use of the center and park. They serve as an additional layer of review in the city's public art review process for proposals related to the Albert J. Boyle Community Center, Pickleweed Park. They have the authority to recommend co-sponsorship of programs offered to the community by reducing or waiving rental fees, and they ensure a balance of programs for ages and interests. As mentioned in January, when I was here with my colleagues presenting, the center provides classes, activities, and events for preschoolers to older adults. In addition to city-run programs, the city partners with local organizations to provide programs as well as space for nonprofits, private businesses, and individuals to rent and hold activities for their community or families. The Pickweed Advisory Committee enables the center to more fully meet the needs of the diverse canal community. So in 2024, the Pickweed Advisory Committee was comprised of 11 members, 7 voting members, including 1 youth member, 2 alternates, 1 non-voting Park and Recreation Commission representative, and 1 non-voting chair who is staff, and that was myself. Darlene, who's here, and Mai Dong were the 2 alternates. And at the end of the year, seats vacated by Heidel, Miguel, and Nancy were filled by Darlene and Sergio Campos. We had 4 regular meetings. They were held during the year on the first Wednesday of February, April, June, and August at 7 p.m., with a special meeting held in September, taking the place of a regular October meeting. In addition to reviewing co-sponsorship applications, the committee received presentations on sea level rise, canal neighborhood garbage Q&A, the upcoming Pickleweed Library renovation, and program updates and overviews provided by committee members and staff. Through the committee, the center is able to co-sponsor vital programs being offered to the community by providing space, which also saves the city staffing expense had the city implemented the proposed program itself. The Pickweed Advisory Committee had the authority to accept or reject rental fee reduction or waiver requests for the center and park not exceeding a combined total of $144,200 in 2024 through the co-sponsorship program. This ability, combined with the city council setting the Oro Community Center's nonprofit and resident rental rates at half the cost of the city's other community centers, has proven successful in allowing multiple agencies to also provide a variety of programs to the community. The committee also makes sure a balance of programs is being offered to all interests and ages, toddlers to older adults, as well as discusses community issues related to the center, park, and neighborhood. Co-sponsorship applications are generally accepted twice in the year to accommodate program seasons so that the committee can more fairly evaluate the applications against each other. For summer programs, typically June through August, applications were due January 10th, 2024, and the applications presented to the committee at their February meeting. The committee then announced their award at their April meeting. For school year applications, typically September through May, applications were received through March 13th, with presentations supporting the applications given at the April Advisory Committee meeting and the award voted at the June meeting. So we just had our April meeting for this year, and that's our biggest one of the year because we're awarding the summer ones, and then we get the presentations from all the different presenters. So that we actually did it quick this year at 2.5 hours, but it's gone on quite long. So in the calendar year of 2024, the Pickleweed Advisory Committee co-sponsored 10 programs by waiving rental fees. The programs included the YMCA and San Rafael City Schools Youth Summer Day Camp, YMCA San Rafael City Schools After School Program, Tamalpais School and Bahia Vista Elementary School Adult ESL, Drawbridge, the Weekly Expressive Art Group, Parent Services Project Abriendo Juntos, Vivillon Zumba, Canal Alliance's Access Youth Foundation's Canal FC, Scouts BSA Troop 2000, the Canal Arts, Canal Families Art, and Raíces do Canal After School Program. Total co-sponsorships awarded in 2024 are valued at $101,332. I do want to note, though, that in the fall, Parent Service Projects did not end up doing their contracted reform, how they structured their activity, and they were able to accommodate at that at their own facility. So they did not end up using their allotment. So looking at some of or all of our programs here, the Albert J. Center in Pickleweed Park has hosted YMCA learning hubs, summer camps, and after-school programs supported by the San Rafael City School District since the pandemic to support Canal youth and their families. Their free 6-week summer camps served 70 school-identified students, where campers were provided with an enriching, safe, and fun camp environment where they could grow emotionally and physically. Partnering with the school district, the program receives snacks and lunches daily and participated in several field trips every week. Similar to the summer, the YMCA serves 70 primarily school-identified students after school daily and on school breaks. The program provides homework help, snacks, play, sports, art, and cooking. YMCA staff work very closely with students' teachers to make sure the children are staying on track academically. And we've got Tamalpais Adult School ESL. Tamalpais Adult School provides free English as a second language class on Monday and Wednesday mornings at the Oro Community Center during the school year to support adult learners, many of whom have been underserved in education, to thrive in their community by learning English. The program targets local parents, especially those whose children attend nearby Bahia Vista School. Drawbridge has been offering their weekly expressive art group year-round at the Albert J. Oro Community Center since 2013. The city, through the Pickleweed Advisory Committee, has been fully co-sponsoring the rental of the room for the program since 2017. Although they accept everyone, the program's intent is for children in shelters and affordable housing facilities, and is a safe, fun, supportive environment where youth 5 to 18 can use art to build community, process stress, and explore different emotions through creative expression. And Vivillon provides an experienced instructor to offer free weekly Zumba classes throughout the year to older adults at the Albert J. Oro Community Center. The class meets Thursday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. in the gymnasium during the school year and the multi-purpose room during the summer. As there continues to be a strong interest in older adult programming in the Canal community, this program has fit in nicely with our offerings. Canal FC was created to provide Canal youth with a more competitive soccer program than the recreation program that we have been offering, which allows youth to then continue to develop and possibly play in high school or competitive clubs at a more reasonable price than traditional soccer clubs. The program is led by Coach Edwin Tenorio, a 2006 World Cup soccer player. Previously, Canal FC was led by Canal Alliance, partnered with Bryn FC. However, in 2024, they changed and collaborated with Access Youth Foundation to provide the support the program really needed. In 2024, due to the closure of the fields due to the enhancement project, they were only able to offer their summer program rather than the summer and the traditional fall soccer season.
Steve, can I ask on that?
Yep.
I see the amount that they received this year is about $1,400. What would a typical sponsorship amount look like for them in relation? Is that amount lower this year?
It is
of the
because it's
limited
just the
use?
summer,
Yeah.
so it would be a little more than double that.
Okay.
When they first started several years ago, they had a big ask where they wanted 2 soccer fields and they really took over a lot of the time. The advisory committee kind of questioned that because there are other leagues that use our fields. Some of them do cater to, Canal residents as well. And I think their aspirations when they started were greater and they realized they didn't need that. So it works out well because now other groups and the community itself can get on the field. So it's a little more than double that for both the fall and the summer season.
Sorry, some questions that you.
No, that's
Just
good.
waiting for the questions.
Did you have to catch my breath? Troop 2000 has proudly called the Albert J. Boyle Community Center Pickweed Park home since forming in the year 2000. The city, through the Pickleweed Advisory Committee, has been fully co-sponsoring the rental of the room and program since the troop's formation. Troop 2000 regularly gives back to the center and the Canal community by volunteering and performing special projects to support of an individual member's Eagle Scout project. In past years, the Scouts have repaired the center's back deck, made improvements and repairs to the Pickleweed playground, repaired park signboards, and performed projects in the Canal community garden. The center also calls Troop 2000 to support with community events, such as assisting with the Dia de los Muertos procession by guiding participants safely through the Canal community. Longtime founder and Scoutmaster William Coronado has recently been trying to retire for several years, but he can't retire from the troop. But this past year, especially, parents are really stepping up and starting to take over troop leadership, which is great. It's getting the whole community involved in this program. The troop now has female members participating, which is not only a nationwide trend, but it's something the Pickleweed Advisory Committee has been encouraging for a while now. The Canal Family Arts started in the Albert J. Boyle Community Center by Voices del Canal and Canal Alliance in April of 2022, and has been actively supported by the Canal Arts, the group who painted the new mural on the front of our center. Upon starting, the group respectfully offered their program on the 4th Saturday of the month so as not to conflict with the long-running Canal Arts program offered by the Canal Youth and Family Council or the Drawbridge program that we offer on Mondays. The program is well attended, and the advisory committee is currently considering an expanded program application for the next year that includes 2 mural workshops a month. There's just the murals are getting so hot in the community, and they will really want the community themselves to learn how to make these murals on different, private and public places. New in 2024 was Raíces del Canal, that provides Latino youth and families access to the community programs they need to overcome barriers and thrive by increasing knowledge and understanding of environmentalism, climate change, and conservation issues, along with mental health and culturally sensitive topics related to immigration, trauma, motherhood, and navigating life in Marin County as a Latina immigrant. The program meets Monday through Fridays from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. during the school year. In this next year, looking ahead, the Pickweed Advisory Committee will continue to be a conduit for community needs in and around the Albert J. Boyle Community Center in Pickleweed Park. They will evaluate additional co-sponsorship requests from community partners due to new program ideas and the revitalized resources as a result of the Pickleweed Park Enhancement Project, which will be concluded in 2025. And that was it. Are there any questions?
It's been exciting to be be the liaison and see what's happening up firsthand. It's really exciting.
Yeah, so thanks for the presentation. It's great to see all the co-sponsored programs. I don't know if we've heard that.
I think
Details.
usually we just list them off, but I
Yeah.
thought, it's kind of nice to change up the report a little bit and to actually show you what they're doing, because that it's truly, in fact, we said it at the end of our meeting. Typically, and when somebody comes in and presents, and when we have like 8 of them, like last 2 weeks ago, they'll present and then they'll go and leave, because we start our meetings at 7, they need to get on their families. But this time, a few people left, but most of them stuck around to hear what each other had. And at the end, there was exchanges, of how wonderful it is, all the different things. And I could say, this is what the city council purposely set this up for, so that we could work together to capture all the needs of the community. And it's really a special place.
Yeah.
Just expand on, oh, sorry.
Oh, I just want to say that, the numbers are small, both in terms of, looking at the big picture, but like it's such a good value, even if it's not a huge amount of kids for the amount of money that the city gives to it. It's a big thing for the families.
Yeah.
So it's just a great use of like leveraging the resources that we have
Right.
and partnership. So
Yeah.
I think it's really a success story and
Yeah.
continues to
I
be.
mean, the one program, the YMCA alone has 70 kids, and then the
Yeah,
other
that's-
one,
that-
so
yeah.
there's,
Yeah.
there's some that are big, but then there are a few that are
Yeah.
smaller, but they're really getting the core of what needs to
Yeah.
be done.
Yeah, so I'm always impressed. And I want to know more about this transition, Steve, that was alluded to.
I will be
So-
retiring at the end of August, so
Oh.
I've given plenty of time, and hopefully we can, hire somebody and we can cross train a little bit, but.
I've made this joke in Steve's presence before, but I told him when I received this retirement letter, I just crossed out the 2025 and I wrote 2027. So
Yeah.
that, when I submitted
No one
it to
accepted it.
HR. Yeah. Well, I mean, on that note, I've got a couple other things I was gonna share, but we're gonna miss Steve for sure. Like I said at the beginning, I'm really thankful to have the opportunity to work with you, Steve. We'll celebrate you more, hopefully we'll get you back in front of the Park Rec Commission at some point before you retire in one of the future meetings, but we're definitely gonna miss you, because you're a key reason that we've been able to really build community through programs like the Pickleweed Advisory Committee, through your leadership there and his commitment to the community. And I think that really shows up in all the great programs that are happening.
So, and I think it's an exciting time for change too. I mean, we're having the enhancement project, and so it's almost a good time for me to step out, somebody else kind of take over and keep it going, and come up with some new ideas too.
I mentioned that with the co-sponsorship program, like you're talking about, like the value of the programs, like there's dollar amounts associated with these, but I'm keeping in mind too that there's no real exchange of money, right? This is essentially a fee waiver. And it's the theoretical lost revenue associated with rental of the facility. And so I think in the big picture of our cost recovery model as a recreation fund, we know we theoretically could make more money if we rented the space, but to me, far more value
Yeah,
in,
that's- yeah.
just like you're saying, Eric, there's far more value
Yeah.
in making sure the community has access to these programs, that we find ways to support programs like this. And I think that this co-sponsorship model is a really successful one that city council did approve. I think throughout the city, we're looking at other opportunities to, I would use an example, special events. How do we as a city support making sure that there are community events? And I've actually shared this with the departments as a model that we've implemented and used, that has a great group of community members that can come in and say, you know what? These are the programs that we value, and here's why, and here's a process we can use to now say that we are going as a city to support these types of programs moving forward. And so I think that it's something we'll continue to look at, I think not only in our division, but citywide as a way to support it.
And we have to remember too, that our rental rates are lower for residents and for local nonprofits. And we do have a lot of agencies that pay that full rental fee to offer their programs, and like the Asian Advocacy Group. One of our members was like, why don't you ask for co-sponsorship? And who runs that? It's like, we have grant fund, we can afford it. It's our contribution. We want to pay so that the center thrives and is able to do it. So we'll make sure a program goes. We don't always offer up the co-sponsorship. We'll see what the program is and needs, and then, hey, this is suitable for going through this process. It's a real neat formula.
Part of the overall picture too, I think, you know, like the YMCA after-school program, receives a co-sponsorship. We partnered with San Rafael City Schools in other ways to offer childcare services. We have a partnership agreement with Glenwood School to offer extended learning opportunity program participants the opportunity to be in our Glenwood Center free of charge. And so, you know, I just want to highlight too, in addition to co-sponsorship, we sponsor other nonprofit use and rental facilities. There's a policy for that. We have those partnership agreements. We also have our scholarship program. And I want to, you know, make sure that people are aware that outside of this, there are ways to participate in a lot of our programs. Based on if they're a San Rafael resident and someone is eligible based on family income. Our applications online, we actually just recently updated those figures based on you know, updated annual income thresholds. And so definitely want to encourage people to apply for scholarships to participate in all kinds of other programs throughout the
We
community.
do quite a few scholarships, especially for swim lessons, which is.
Right now,
great.
those
such
are
a
the ones
safety
coming
thing.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of swim lesson scholarship applications coming our way. Everything all the way, like we have community gardeners as well. They're receiving scholarships to participate in community gardens, all kinds of programs, theater programs. I think what was it, Sun Valley Dance Brigade was the last application we just received. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll open the floor to public comment at this time.
You have anything to add, Charlie?
Yeah.
No?
I'm so happy for the program. And for this year, we are going to have more programs. It's good for our community.
Yeah.
Because, maybe the city don't have money for help to, we need more programs. But right now, we are so happy to have more very good program after the school. We want after the school. Because children stay all day at by phone or computer or, yeah, they need to something fun for them. Yeah. And the program is very good for them, very, very good. I'm so happy for them. Thank you.
Thank everybody. Yeah. And, our last meeting 2 weeks ago was Louise Yost has been on the committee for 23 years. The very next day was her anniversary, so we lost her, but next Monday, City Council has interviews, and we've got 3 seats that we'll be filling. Yeah, on that, so that'll be good.
I would like to request well, I guess I'll close public comment, and then I'd like to request a motion and a second to receive and approve. Motion to approve.
I'll motion a second.
Thank you.
Right. Chair Sandoval,
Yes.
Commissioner Cabrales.
Yes.
Commissioner Emerson. And Commissioner Pasternak.
Yes.
Right, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. We'll move on now to item number 4, the staff liaison report.
all right, I've got quite a few things I want to share with you, so you have to bear with me. I'm gonna talk for a minute, but we already talked about Steve's retirement, and I wasn't sure if we would be sharing that tonight or not, but since
I wasn't sure we were either, Craig.
Pass out of the bag here. Yeah, Steve is retiring, so we will be planning for recruitment for a new supervisor soon. I'll keep everyone posted, but it's always great to make sure the community is aware of that opportunity. I think this particular role is a unique role in a lot of ways. You know, the park and the community center offer so many great services. There's a real community engagement component to that. So I think we're going to be really looking closely at that recruitment to make sure we find a really good fit. And it's going to be very, very difficult to fill Steve's shoes. So we'll need your help to get the word out about that. A couple other recruitments that are open right now. We have a child care instructor 2 position that is an open recruitment at our Pickleweed preschool. So we're continuing to recruit for that role. A marketing coordinator recruitment that just closed. We actually have interviews scheduled for next week. And I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Darcy Chalou, who's one of our supervisors here, who's really helped kind of keep us going. One of our program coordinators, Christina Farhang, has been super helpful. Library team, we've had this vacancy for a while. We actually restructured this position to make it a full-time position. Historically, it had not been. and it's gonna be split between library and recreation moving forward, so I'm excited about that. But one of the things Darcy just wrapped up is probably her last activity guide that she hoped to create.
Well,
the
she's
summer
kicking us off
playbook.
for the fall one.
She is
but-
kicking us
but
off
yeah,
for the fall.
It's her last full one, I guess.
But the summer playbook hopefully should be hitting mailboxes soon. That's really focused on our summer programming. It's not a full activity guide. It's really focused on our summer camps with things happening this summer. So hopefully you'll see that soon. It is up on our website now. And then on our library side, some supervisor interviews are also happening soon. So we're continuing to build out our full team. On Sunday, March 23rd, Bristol Park Neighborhood Park Cleanup Day, thanks to DPW, the parks team over there. They had they engaged with the homeowners association, neighborhood groups there, did a park cleanup day. Last week was National Library Week, as well as Week of the Young Child. So there were some recent proclamations that the city council shared at their last meeting, and the Week of the Young Child really is specifically something that I want to celebrate our child care team for. You know, that week is an important way to not only recognize the staff, but recognize the kids in our program in our community. In early April, met with county officials that are part of the Measure 8 program. They recently launched the FAIR grant. The city received a $35,000 FAIR grant that's going to go to support the Canal Community Garden and some upgrades there. So we met with a couple folks from the county, talked about the scope of work that we're considering for those grant funds. Really looking at some accessibility improvements, particularly to the raised accessible garden beds. They're not really deep enough to plant most crops, and so we're looking at some improvements there to hopefully make those more accessible, as well as some irrigation upgrades to the common areas, possibly some kind of reconfiguring of some of the half plots. They're like lengthwise, they're split. And they're kind of on the small side, and you might want to split them the other way because it will make it better for like both direction of sun and shading and invasive weeds and things coming in. So looking at doing some work there. And that work will likely take place. We're going to be planning this summer. It will take place in fall and winter. Did a full day childcare program training on April 11th, which was great. It was we did some program training as well as some safety training that day. April 22nd is Earth Day. That's coming up. Some citywide events taking place there. On April 19th, there's going to be a Stark Weather Path cleanup with Council Member Michael Lawrence Gelati, and Citizen of the Year Tom Harrison will be there. April 22nd, the Downtown Cleaning Green. That's 10 to 12. And then April 24th from 5:30 to 7:30, we're participating in SF Climate Week. And so our sustainability team is going to be talking about what's Sanderfeld doing about sea level rise. Next month, May, is Older Americans Month. So planning to celebrate that with a proclamation that will go to City Council on May 5th. And trying to continue to make sure that we celebrate our older adults in our community. Junior Giant registration is now open. Dropping pickleball, is it still going on?
Nope, finally ended.
It ended. I can't say that that's
First week of
ongoing
April,
anymore. A shout out to the library, and I think that you also helps partner in this. There was a Marine Stargazers program that happened at the park. I think that was early April. Telescopes were out. There was translation services there, and people had a chance to gaze at the stars one evening. That was a really fun program. Over at Terra Linda, the pool is hopping. They just installed recently new lockers in the pool locker rooms. Those were starting to get rusty and wear out. So just installed some new ones that we hope will last a lot longer. Recently had a great theater program here at the community center. I think during some of our last meetings, we saw some of the rehearsals that were going on and the costumes. Really successful program. I think the day of one of the performances, a water main broke. And so we had to bring in like emergency porta potties and things, and Darcy did a great job scrambling for that. It was another classic Parks and Rec moment. Did a great job, went off without a hitch, and the kids had a really great performance. So really fun program. Several of our staff recently went to the California Park and Recreation Society conference, brought back some really great things. That was in Sacramento this year. So great to stay engaged in the current trends and advancements in the industry. We're planning a city staff night with the Pacifics on Friday, May 30th, and I'm excited about it because maybe some of our city staff might get to throw out the first pitch and or sing the national anthem. So excited about that. Already talked about some of the capital projects that have been happening. Some other upcoming events, the Canal Community Fair is going to be at Canal Alliance on May 3rd. Sanderville Heads Up Carnival, April 26th, is now going to be held at Sanderville High School this year. So that's a slight change. Excited about that.
Come see me at the food court.
Come see us at the- We'll have staff, Steven from our rec department and some of our library team will be there representing library and recreation. The Sanderville Chamber of Commerce Leadership Institute is planning a local vendor market and small business showcase at Canal Alliance on June 7th. So we're starting to get the word out about getting the word out to vendors. I think the focus here is small businesses, street vendors, maybe to help connect them with resources on, hey, how can you jumpstart your business? You know, what resources can you get in contact with to, if you're not currently permitted and legal, how can you do that in a legal way? And right now, I think we have around 11 vendors that have signed up. We're still looking for more vendors, looking for more resources that are involved.
When is that?
That's going to be on June 7th, and they're accepting vendor applications through May 1st. I'm sharing that because I'm part of that Leadership Institute through the chamber this year, helping to make that project happen. I think that's going to go out and be advertised in the city's snapshot. That should go out this week as well. There'll be a flyer with information. So
People have already been reaching out to the center about it too. So
Yeah.
that's good.
it's great. Our public art review board was scheduled for yesterday. We rescheduled that because it coincided with a Marine Cultural Association mixer and kickoff that they hosted last night. They have $100,000 worth of grant funding that they're releasing. The deadline for that is, I believe, April 30th. And so if you know of any artists that are looking for funding, it's a great opportunity. But we rescheduled our public art review board meeting to April 30th. We're going to be hearing a presentation from the Downtown Sanderville Art District at that meeting. They're going to be sharing about some project implementation that they're working on to bring 5 or 6 new public art installations to downtown Sanderville. So that project is moving, and really excited about the implementation team that has been brought on board. They're called Local Creative and Local Edition Creative. I'm sorry. And they've worked on some recent campaigns like Creative Concord, done a lot of work in Oakland, a lot of work in the Bay Area to bring really big, high impact murals and artwork to local communities. And then tie that to, so you've got the great physical like statues or sculptures, murals, but also then how do we program around that? How do we tell the story about how this art can help create placemaking and transform communities in positive ways? So a lot of really great momentum happening right now in the community on mural development, and we're seeing that pop up. So really excited to see what could come there. If you're interested in learning more about that, I encourage you to attend that public art review meeting. A couple other proposals will be heard there as well. Second Friday Art Walk is, the next one is May 9th. Our Falkirk Cultural Center have a couple, we have one ongoing presentation there, What Dreams Are Made Of. It's the Terra Linda ceramic artists, which a lot of those artists are working out of our Terra Linda Community Center program. Really incredible artwork up there right now that runs through May 4th. So if you have a chance to get up there, definitely encourage it. California Film Institute at the Riffel Theater, their Docklands Film Festival starts April 30th, runs through May 4th. And then our next Falkirk exhibit will be May 9th through June 20th. And there's actually 3 artists that will be sharing that exhibit space during that time. That opening reception is going to be coincide with the Second Friday Art Walk on Friday, May 9th. And then just a couple of procedural notes I wanted to mention. We did make a change to the length of public comment for all of our boards, committees, and commissions. It used to be 3 minutes. It is 2 minutes. You read that accurately. I actually wanted to just acknowledge that change though. And the reason for that change is to stay consistent with the length of public comment across the board throughout the city. I think our general practice is that we want to make sure the community's heard. If there's an opportunity for someone that they really need more time, it's always up to the commission to kind of set the guidelines for how long we let public comment go. But I just want to acknowledge we did make that administrative change in our end. We may be coming to you in the future, Joanna and I, potentially to recruit some help for things like, supporting our bicycle and pedestrian, access plan. I know there's a new plan that's being implemented, an update to that plan, and so there's a chance in the future we might, have some requests for some support on that. And then, last thing on my list is, we're taking a look at our agendas for the next couple of months for Park and Rec Commission. Next month, we have one item on the agenda tentatively that I don't think we're gonna be ready to bring to you yet. It was an update on the trails feasibility study that we're working on. We're still in scope development there. I'm working with our fire department to try to figure out the right way to get that work done, and we're just not quite ready yet. And with that in mind, I think we looked at, May and June and July and August, and we frankly, we just don't have a lot of things on the agenda. It's just the way these cycles have gone. So I'm gonna be sharing an update with all of you once we've taken a closer look to make sure that you know, okay, well, what's on the agenda, what's the right fit for all of these. One of those meetings, we had proposed a walking tour of one of the parks, or maybe the parks tour like we've done the last couple of years. We're trying to time that right. We think it might be really great to go visit Pickleweed Park or potentially Peacock Gap Park as those projects are wrapping up to show you those. So I'll keep everyone posted on how that all shakes out. I did also want to call out though that the June meeting that we have scheduled is on June 19th, which coincides with Juneteenth. So we will be rescheduling that date one way or another, or potentially canceling that meeting if there's nothing. And with that, I think I've talked enough. And that's all I got, but anything else on your end, Steve? Miss anything?
Covered it well.
So we will have a May.
Potentially,
Potentially.
tentatively, I think,
Okay.
I want to make sure it's really useful time for everyone, and so. Depending on, the next couple of weeks of development of projects, we're gonna be taking a look to see if there's any reports that we bring or any action items that are required. There is a chance that we cancel the May meeting. I think when I was looking at those, if we cancel the May meeting and then we're canceling the June meeting, then we maybe be meeting in July, which sometimes is hard for everyone's like summer schedules. August, we're typically dark. And I don't want to cancel 4 months in a row. That seems like a long time, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to flag that with you
Reschedule,
that
yeah.
we're looking at the schedule. I think we may look at rescheduling the June date to an alternate date that doesn't coincide with the holiday.
Of course.
And then, and maybe do that before school gets out. So I'll probably just need to check in with everyone on availability and coordinate that.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions or comments from the commission?
I just want to say that, at the Health and Human Services Fund, we're kind of a little bit stressed based on the new administration. Just, we've already seen some federal cuts to our COVID funding. We've spent most of it, but, we got a stop work order and had to do that. That's been interesting. And then on the immediate front, our, the food banks are a bit under threat. And so there's going to be and obviously the immigration concerns from our Canoga residents. So we're already seeing people not showing up for services. So we're trying to work to get ahead of that. And then, there's also funding stress at the Health and Human Services because the Mental Health Service Act funding is being realigned, which is going to take away a lot of the sort of prevention, more health promotion that was, earlier through the MHSA funds were now 20 years old. So we're just kind of under a little bit of, watch and wait and try not to react, but kind of bracing for the cuts, which could be really real, and then also doubling down on public health messaging, vaccines are important, given what's happening. So a little bit of a tough time. We'll get through it, but I think it will affect a lot of San Rafael's residents in terms of immigration specifically and some of the food security concerns and accessing care. So more to follow.
It's a hard message, but I appreciate the update.
Yeah, well, we're all in this together. I mean, the city's got its lane, but, Health and Human Services, we have our lane and the county has their lanes, but they do intersect, so look forward to, partnerships. And Steve, I'm I don't know if I did not accept your resignation either. I've worked with Steve for years and he's a great leader in the community and always just so collaborative with the community and really easy to work with and always an open door policy for any type of collaboration. So hopefully you can get someone in to train your
Nice.
the next person,
Yes.
you know. in terms
How to
of-
leave the door open.
Yeah, exactly, which is super important
It
because,
is.
you know, we can be hard to penetrate as well. Just appreciating, hopefully we'll get to appreciate you more formally.
Thank you. Not if you cancel all these meetings.
If we can do the groundbreaking at the Pibble, we can be like a final event.
Agenda item that we need to add.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. It says public comment. I'll open it the floor to public comment if we have any. No, thank you. Closing public comment and I believe we move on to the final item now. Agenda item 5. Other brief reports on any meetings, conferences, or seminars attended by the commission members.
Well, I stopped by Bret Hart Park and was really happy to see that the trees that were planted by the arbor, there was I went to the ceremony and they planted a bunch of trees and they look great. They're all very much in spring mode and I was so happy to see that.
Good.
So, yes.
Yeah, and I will report that I was at Peacock Gap Park earlier today for my kids' soccer practice and saw that the ground, we rubbed ground and looked like quick work is being done. Yeah, everyone's excited over there. See what happens.
I do. Saturday is the kickoff of the Marine Swim League, like competition. So all the teams are doing their time trials on Saturday, so the orcas will be at the Sierra Linda pool and every Saturday now until end of June. Very exciting.
Oh, yeah, also the carnival, everybody should go. It's gonna be great. Apparently, they have a lot of new vendors this year. They're back at San Rafael High, so there's like places to go in and sit down and eat in the, comfortable shade and all that, and pupusas for everyone.
And parking should be better too. right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so we're hoping, so everyone can come.
Thank you. Any public comment on our commissioner reports? So I'll close public comment and I believe now we will adjourn. The meeting is, we will adjourn. Time is 6:59 p.m.
That's impressive.
Like it.
Sorry, sweet.
Run an efficient meeting.